This is a mosquito. In fact, this common term refers to a group of insects with more than 3,000 species that constitutes under the Calicidae family. Did you know that only female mosquitoes bite us? They need the proteins in our blood to grow their eggs. They locate us by detecting our scent, warmth, and carbon dioxide we breathe out through the receptors on their antennae. Mosquitoes have a mouth part called proboscis, which consists of a complicated system of 6 stylets. The tip of the labium, which is a protective sheath, contains 2 sensory probes to aid the mosquito in its search for a good place to feed. As the labium retracts, this allows the fascicle to pierce into the skin. The fascicle contains a pair of maxillae, mandibles, a labrum, and a hypopharynx. Maxillae are serrated structures that are used to saw through the skin, while the mandibles hold the tissue apart. The receptors on the labrum can detect our blood, and acting as probes, they dig into our flesh in search for a blood vessel. Once the mosquito pierces through a blood vessel, with the help of the hypopharynx, pumping saliva into the blood to prevent coagulation, the gutter-shaped labrum sucks in blood. As blood enters the mosquito, filters in the abdomen separate plasma from the red blood cells. The plasma is then expelled from the rear end of the insect, so that the mosquito can absorb maximum nutrients from the red blood cells.
The reason that mosquito bites itch has to do with this saliva. There are more than 100 proteins within their saliva. The protein anophyllin binds to the central host coagulation enzyme to prevent the blood from clotting. The body's response to this foreign substance is to send immunoglobulins to where the mosquito bite is, and then break down connective tissue and mast cells. The histamines are what causes the allergic symptoms. Thus, white blood cells then rush to the area to protect the body against the foreign substance, causing inflammation. So what exactly are histamines, and why do they cause us to itch?
A histamine is an organic nitrogenous protein involved in our local immune and inflammatory responses. Histamines are derived from the decarboxylation of the amino acid histidine, a reaction which is catalyzed by the enzyme L-histidine decarboxylase. The histamine binds to a G protein coupled H1 receptor in our smooth muscle cells to cause itching. The primary afferent neurons responsible for the histamine-induced itch are unmyceliated C fibers, a class of nerve in the CNS and PNS. The activation of the H1 receptor stimulates the activation of a subset of C fibers that supply the epidermis cells with nerves, therefore transmitting electrical signals to the superficial layer of the dorsal horn of the spinal cord. These signals then ascend to the thalamus through the contralateral spinothalamic tracts, which is the sensory pathway from the skin to the thalamus, and the signals eventually conduct it to the somatosensory and cingulate cortex of the brain, which are involved in processing emotions and behavior regulation, and so cause an itching sensation. Histamines in creams can act on the H1 receptors after a mosquito bite. They bind to different sites on the receptor to produce the opposite effect. The presence of antihistamines causes receptors to undergo a conformational change by altering the position of the binding site on the receptor so that it will be in its inactive state, therefore blocking H1 receptors, so any histamine cannot reach its target area. A common treatment to ease the itch of a mosquito bite is calamine lotion. It is made up of zinc oxide and ferric oxide. Calamine works by its counter-irritant effect, causing soothing and antipyretic action.
Even though mosquitoes are given a bad name, it's hard not to appreciate this amazing creature, and its complexity makes them just as impressive as us.